here is our worker making $60,000 a year. We are assuming a return on investment of 3%, and our worker is saving $6,000 a year. We've projected a 401k account buildup. This is all from the previous lesson. Now we go out to age 67, and the fundamental problem facing our worker is no income in retirement years and a desire to consume or to spend money on food, clothing, and shelter. One source of money for food, clothing, and shelter comes out of this 401k account balance. We want to withdraw a certain amount every year. One other source for the typical American worker, one other source of consumption spending in retirement is Social Security. A typical worker making $60,000 a year might have a Social Security benefit of $20,000 a year. I'm not promising this. This is just a reasonable guess given today's Social Security environment. So let's project on out this Social Security benefit every year, and that will meet some of our workers' consumption needs in retirement. All right, and we may as well copy our label out also. Now, how much can our worker afford to take out of the 401k account without running out of money? That's a reasonable question, but we're not going to answer the reasonable question. We're going to say how much would our worker like to take out every year to meet his or her consumption needs. And we're going to introduce a concept called consumption smoothing. It's a very respectable concept in the area of economics. The idea is that consumers don't like peaks and valleys in their consumption patterns. They like to smooth their consumption over time so that they're consuming roughly the same amount year by year. Well, our worker has become accustomed to spending $54,000 a year while working. We'll continue that consumption amount. So every year we're going to need to take out of our 401k balance enough to consume to keep our consumption level at $54,000. That means we're going to need to take out of our 401k account AM7, which is our usual consumption amount, less the amount of that consumption financed by Social Security, which is an AM5. Click off that. We're going to need to take $34,000 a year out. And we can copy this out to age 97. And that leaves us with consumption spending every year of AM5 from Social Security, AM6 coming out of our 401k account for total consumption in retirement of $54,000 a year. All right. Now, this is a fine plan for the consumption smoother. Everything appears to be in order. The question is, will our 401k account balance allow us to take $34,000 a year out? Well, let's see. What is our account balance next year? It's last year's account balance, AM9, minus the withdrawal, which is an AN6. So we take our account balance, subtract how much we're taking out, and then the remainder that's still in the account, we'll grow that by 1 plus our investment return, which is an AM2. Yeah, for whatever reason, we decided to lag these investment returns. So we always apply, this return is applied here, this return is applied here. So I'm not making a mistake, or at least I'm being consistent with what we've done previously. So notice our 401k balance falls for the first time. In previous years, it was always getting bigger because we were throwing more money in, but now we're taking money out. We get a decline in our 401k balance, and let's copy this formula out to age 96. Well, oh shucks, we've run out of money. In fact, we've been out of money for some time looking at these negative 401k balances. Let's scroll back and see when this happened. For the first time, we ran out of money at age 82. So our 401k balance sustained us in retirement for a while, but given the length of time we want to live in retirement, 34,000 was too much to take out of our 401k balance. Now, if we accept the notion that we are dedicated consumption smoothers, what we need to do is save more so that we don't have a big decline in consumption during our retirement years. So let's try saving more. Well, let's go back to the beginning. Let's save 8,000 a year. See what this does to our 401k balance. It takes our 401k balance to 553,000, almost 10 times salary. And will that be enough to allow us to smooth consumption in future years? Well, first off, notice that we're accustomed to consuming less, 52,000 instead of 54,000. So saving more lowers the bar for consumption in retirement from 54 to 52, and also gives us more money to try to clear that bar. So let's see if we run out of money this time. We do run out of money, but not until age 91. A completely successful plan would have us run out of money in our last year, or have the account balance brought down to exactly zero in our last year, and then we would be successful consumption smoothers. I'm going to call this success for our purposes, but if you want to continue guessing at the right amount to save, be my guest to try something higher than 8,500, or something higher than 8,000. Looks to me like it's going to take maybe 14% of our salaries saved to be successful consumption smoothers here. Our analysis had some things that were missing, and what were they? Taxes. We're not really able to consume 52,000 a year because out of this 60,000 there's going to be a ton of taxes taken out. So what we'll really have for consumption is less, and a more realistic analysis would need to include taxes. It would need to take into account investment risk. We've considered these returns to be absolutely guaranteed. In reality, we don't know what these returns are going to be. We need to allow for a certain randomness of these returns, especially if we're investing in stock. And we have insurance needs. In particular, if we have dependents, we die, our salary stops, we'll need to supplement our 401k balance with life insurance. We have other insurance needs, from housing to cars to liability risk to disability. So the analysis needs to be enriched to include some of these factors that are currently missing, but at least we're on the right track, hopefully.